Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, March 23rd. Um, and as you can hear in the background, you can hear some birds chirping. So I'm pretty thankful for that. But that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Um, for the ones that don't know me, I usually do segments in my YouTube channel. But um, I decided to add this segment to the Facebook community. Um, that being said, I want to share my thoughts on what's happening during these difficult times, and most of all, surprisingly sneaking up on us. As we're pretty much aware of what's going on right now, um, globally, the globe is barely keeping up with all this COVID-19 aftermath. So for a fact, I know the RGV is most definitely not prepared for a catalyst of this caliber. And we've pretty much seen it. What's being feeding all of our news feed. Um, no self control within public places and public establishments. Um, I mean, for fuck's sakes, people were already fighting for paper, as if paper was the vaccine for the COVID-19 itself. That just proves to me that there's no self control with an outbreak like this, and we're just gonna go ahead and dive in, man. I'm gonna try and separate the facts from the myths and the clickbaits that have been going on, as far as we know. And there's a lot. Oh, pointing fingers here, this and that over there. So we're just gonna go ahead and separate from what is factual with evidential facts and the myths that have been going on. For a fact, one, we do know it's highly contagious, spreading fast as wildfire. So that is factual, and that didn't take uh, numerous amounts of people. It took a certain individuals that were just traveling, and it affected not locally, but it was jumping from continent to continent. So that was really amazingly surprising. It is highly contagious. I'm not gonna go in depth because I'm not a doctor, and I'm just sharing what we do know, what is factual. So I'm not gonna dive in and say I know a certain aspect of this as if I have a certain background, which I don't. Trying to separate overly hyped propaganda news that's making masses outbreak ferociously and without any intellect, and that's affecting the most of us that are just trying to shop normally. So that's what I'm trying to do: separate the overly hyped propaganda that everybody's spreading, and not overhyping it, because the masses are losing it. The masses are losing it, and the ones that don't have intellect and self control are the ones that are affecting the rest of us. Um, Not just mentally, but physically. Like, we've seen that they're, I mean, they're surviving off just toilet paper. Like, this is madness. Let's go ahead and dive into the second one. The second one is most affected patients are well above over 50. We've seen that the ones that actually take its most toll on the host and the patients is they're a little well above 50. I'm not saying that nobody else can get affected. I know that does not mean to take the necessary precautions, which you can also get diagnosed. So, again, take the extra precautions, and you don't have to go through all of this. Stay home. Stay home is the best, safest, and mandatory uh, thing you can do right now. So, but we do know that those the ones that are affected are the ones above 50, maybe even less. So uh, don't take my word for it. I'm just spreading facts as the ones facts that the patients are coming out with evidence, not I saw this post, I read this poster. I'm just talking about evidential facts. And 80% of them are well above 50. So that's that. Also, stop sharing myths and hyping up stories to scare the rest of the masses. Actually, do your homework. Stop pointing fingers. So, uh, it's mostly a scare tactic that, you know how people are trying to get viral everywhere. So, they're trying to get the latest news. So, they're trying to get the most shares. You know what I mean? Even in this kind of outbreak, everyone is still finding a comical way of it, which is irrelevant up until it hits your point or your area. Then when you start, you know what I mean? So everything, you gotta take it with necessary precautions and mandatory steps to getting where we need to be and back to the balance of where we once were. And if the information is correct, simply do not overreact. Simply observe, uh, follow the standards, which is stay home, be extra hygienic, uh, and if you go out, you know, take the standard procedures of what they're providing, the steps, the mandatory steps of providing. Because sometimes we can get extra clumsy, even to the best of us, and make the simple mistake of, you know, if we cough, it just happened to be with someone right next to it. So, you know, again, make sure to take the necessary precautions. If you feel you're a little uh, off than usual from your immune system and you're a little sneezy, and you know, it'd be best that you stay home. You know, uh, don't you don't have to be a witness of what's going on right now. You can actually just stay home and see it for yourself on the news feed. Uh, you know, just pick your digital platform. I'm sure everybody is sharing the same thing. So you don't have to be on the streets sacrificing, or, you know, if you feel a little like, off from your immune system, ask a certain individual, a certain loved one to, you know, hey, I don't feel okay. I'm not trying to scare nobody, but I want to stay home and feel safer. But can you go get this for me? You know what I mean? So let's take the necessary precautions and mandatory standards, being a little safer around the community and especially it's ourselves. Also, the doctors and the health professionals are the ones that have the most information and the correct and legitimate information. Not, oh, my best friend sent me this link and, you know, fill in your blanks. Oh, Trump said this, and Trump does not have your answer. Trump does not have your vaccine. And even if he did, there's a certain aspects that they're not releasing for a certain cause, but whatever it is, no religion master, no religion individual also has a vaccine. So stay precautions to the news from the doctors and health professionals, because those are the ones that actually to know what goes on inside the internals of the anatomy of a human being. So those are the ones that actually have the most sense as spreading information with facts, evidential facts, and not just propaganda. Because what the top is and the highest level of entertainers and dictators are the ones just spreading the information from professionals of certain departments. So if it was Trump sharing information or whoever, fill in your blank, they're just sharing the information from a professional. And who are the professionals? The doctors, the health professionals. So stay alert, stay safe. Remember to take the necessary standards. Also, share with the community. You know, maybe down the road, uh, you didn't share with a certain neighbor or a certain loved one. And who knows, maybe that certain loved one may have what you need down the road, and you don't want to risk that just for toilet paper. So share. Um, everything gets settled. Everything will be back to normal, and you won't have to lose a certain loved one just because of uh, an intellectual outbreak with no self-control. So make sure to share. Make sure to share some facts where there's enough utensils here, and go to this place. Check a lot of communities, a lot of local communities, um, not just big establishments. Your local community stores, they should also have um, the mandatory utensils that most of us are needing. Um, a couple of them left. I'm not gonna go into the details of the conspiracy aspect of this, just because it's irrelevant and it won't help during these circumstances. So there's certain theories that I have, um, and there's certain visions that I've had from the past that are what's happening right now. But I'm not gonna get into them. That's later when everything's a little bit more normal and more settled. So I'm not gonna go into that aspect and get in depth of what my theories are, what a conspiracy's been up in. I'm not gonna go into that. So that was that. That was my little segment. Remember to stay safe, stay home, be extra hygienic, stop spreading false news, false propagandas. Wait till a professional, of health professional, comes out on a press conference, because normal news are just hyping up everything else. They aren't the news. So anybody that don't know how news work, they usually hype up anything. So stay alert, stay aware, stay precautioned, and stay safe. Peace.